Hi, and welcome to the Jazz Funk and Soul Show, episode two. This is the 1010 Jazz Funk and Soul Show, episode two, rather. We've got 10 artists here, and we're going to feature one track each. People from all over the world, as usual. Coming up first from Boston, Massachusetts, is Christine Elise. Correct me if I don't remember the exact way to say your name. I think it's Elise. Could you introduce yourself and the story behind your song, I've Grown Accustomed to His Face?
Yes, hi everyone. Yeah, I live in the Boston area, and I actually love doing a lot of genres, and that's kind of a blessing and a curse. But I have done a lot of jazz. It's one of my favorites, jazz and blues. And so yeah, this song in particular, honestly, I heard a cover of it. It's originally from a musical from 1956 called My Fair Lady. And the original song is I've Grown Accustomed to Her Face. And so, yeah, I loved the simplicity of it and, changing it to his face. And it's just a beautiful song. I just loved it. So I have a really fantastic piano player on this, Michael Valdez, also from the Boston area. And yeah, it's on my album, my very first album from 2017. So
If you
that's
don't
it. And
know,
I just,
if you don't know Christine's music yet, you're going to be blown away. You're absolutely world class. Sit back and enjoy. Christine Elise with I've Grown Accustomed to His Face. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. One love.
I've grown accustomed to his face. He almost makes my day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune he whistles night and noon. His smiles, his frowns, his ups, his downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. I was serenely independent and content before we met. Surely I could always be that way again, and yet I've grown accustomed to his looks, accustomed to his voice, accustomed to his face. I've grown accustomed to the trace of something in the air, just accustomed to his
Absolutely beautiful. I told you if you hadn't heard her music, you're going to absolutely fall in love with it. You're just awesome, Christine. Welcome young Omar Rios Melendez to the show as well. So rich and pretty. Then I'm going to get Omar to go next. So I don't know how much you heard of that, Omar, but what you did, you could say something. So rich, pretty, then Omar. What was your thoughts on Christine's beautiful track there? While I load up Omar's song.
Sparky, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I'm way too biased. I absolutely love everything she does. Christine, you rock, my friend. I love your music. Your voice takes me away every single time I listen to you, no matter what genre it is. And that
you.
one that's one of those ones that I've always said the testament to a good song, and you've heard me say this, Christine, the testament to good songs, if it can take you to another place. And that's a song that can. This can sort of, you can sort of, I see myself, picture myself in a bar with a drink, kind of half there, half not, thinking about the woman that I've lost and all that kind of stuff. It's beautiful stuff. Way to go, Christine. I can't say enough about how much I love this woman. Awesome stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich. Likewise,
Yeah,
I feel the same.
Thank you.
I'll detail that with you, Rich. Honestly, Pretty Benike as well. Just one of my favourite ladies in the world. What was your thoughts there, dear? Pretty?
So warm and so pure. Your voice is very beautiful, and I love the warm chords. I think you have found a fantastic pianist. And what makes jazz so beautiful is the additions. You know, like the seventh and ninth, and you can hear it in all the chords you are using. And in the how you say it, in the composing, you know, it's such a beautiful warm song, and I think that's really what jazz is and can mean. The balance there. This is just too much to say. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so
Isn't
much. I appreciate all that.
Just Omar Rios Melendez. I know you only heard half of the song there, but would you like to say something to Christine for what you did here, Omar?
Yeah, for me it was a really great song, really warm sound, beautiful voice. So I really enjoy it, the vibe. Also, I love this kind of smooth music, you know, that makes you feel like at home. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you all.
Well said. Christine, thanks for being a wonderful first guest. Christine Elias, until the next time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure.
Forward to
So
hearing
from
you tonight.
Boston, we're flying over to London. The man's from Nicaragua. His name's Omar Rios Melendez. Introduce yourself and the story behind your song, "'Cause We're Ended as Lovers."
Okay, I am a Nicaraguan guitarist and composer. I am almost 30 years old. And this single is a tribute that I did to Jeff Beck, because when I was at the studio last year, basically it was 1 week after that Jeff Beck passed away. And I remember, well, I just signed with a record label that is called Marquee Records. And I remember the guy from the label told me like, Omar, I saw you playing this song and I think it's beautiful. Why you don't bring this song to your album and add, you know, one cover in your album? And I was like, I am not sure. I am not a huge fan to introduce covers sometimes, but I really felt like, okay, it's Jeff Beck. He's one of my favorite guitar players and composer. He's one of the best guitar players in the history of music. And I just thought, okay, let's do it. We recorded in one take with the musicians. Was a Fish Factory Studios. Was a live recording session, so everything that you're gonna hear was just in one take, being honest, no pretensions, no editions, just enjoying the moment and trying to deliver my best. And also I got the incredible British pianist Alex Wilson, Cuban double bass player Frank Portuondo, the drummer from Canary Island, Jose de Alejandro. They are really close friends of mine, and we really had a great time in the studio. We even recorded without rehearsals. I just wrote all the charts, all the scores, and I sent it to them, and I did some kind of rehearsals, but separately. We couldn't make it all together because the pianist lives in Switzerland, the drummer lives in Canary Island. So we just met at the studio while we were testing the sounds and the microphones. We did a slightly quick rehearsals and then ready to go. I am really grateful and glad and happy with the results. So yeah, that's the story basically behind the cover that I did to Jeff Beck.
Dude, you're absolutely amazing. You're one of the most talented people I've ever seen. The last time you were on a show, my mum said that to me the next day. Who is that young man? I can't believe how good he is, you know. And my mum's watching you. She's in here now. Omar Rios Melendez, the cover of "'Cause We're Ended as Lovers," and a tribute to Jeff Beck. Brittany Nicole, one of our family members, had Jeff Beck playing the guitar in her song, not long before he passed as well. So sit back and enjoy this marvelous artist here, Omar Rios Melendez. One love. Absolutely. You're a genius, man. First take as well, eh? No practicing or nothing. Omar, hat off to you, brother, honestly. So the three co-hosts, and then we're going to go with Glenn Hoffbauer next. So can we go ladies first? Christine Pretty, then Rich, and then Glenn, our next guest. You get 4 reviews here. So Christine, then Pretty, Rich, and then Glenn. Glenn Hoffbauer, we've got 2 Glens here. And welcome to the show, Glenn McLeod, Crash World.
Okay,
Christine?
so all right, I'm still like catching my breath. That was so gorgeous, so gorgeous. It was just like enchanting. I felt like I was on a beach and just so immersed in it. So beautiful, so much talent, all of the players, and your guitar playing was just gorgeous. Yeah, I loved your interpretation. I don't know, I'm just still like I'm still feeling it. So yeah, hats off, just like Sparky said. That was so beautiful. I would love to hear more of what you have to, to listen to. Just thank you. Thank you for having that today for us to hear. It's beautiful. Gorgeous.
Well said. You don't get any better than that. I mean, you can be as good as that if you're a world class, but you don't get any better. And just add him on Facebook, everyone, under that exact name, Omar Rios Melendez. Even when you're sitting there, we should all add each other. Pretty, then Rich, and then Glenn Hoffbauer. What was your thoughts?
Omar, this was absolutely fantastic. It was so beautiful. It really took me to places. And usually when something's so beautiful, I go everywhere, but I really got stuck in your music. And I think you have found very talented musicians to play with. Of course, yourself as well. I think the guitar sound is so bright and so beautiful, and the piano sounds so warm. And I think it's a beautiful mix you have made. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed.
Well said, well said. He's very humble as well, isn't he? He's one of the most humble guys ever. And he's over in London playing gigs all the time. It's a 6-hour drive, but I'm going to come over to see you one of these times, I'm telling you. Rich, and then Mr. Hofbauer.
Omar, there's something so wonderful about this nylon string classical guitar. And I envy you because I can't play a nylon string that well. But there's a few things I absolutely loved about it. You're mixing, you approach things from almost a flamenco standpoint, yet you're doing a Latin flavor to your music. At the same time, you're doing traditional jazz and some blues and some rock chord structures. But even more than that, I love the way you juxtaposed against the piano player. Your chord voicings and your chord selections were wonderful. And sometimes the testament of a great player is what you don't play as opposed to what you do play. And you let the music breathe. There's moments where you go through a huge line, you'd throw a beautiful chord and you'd stop. I just went, that's bloody brilliant. I mean, that's a musician. I mean, hats off to you. Well done.
Well said, well said. Mr. Hofbauer?
Well, I'm in awe. I'm a guitar player, but not to your caliber. I mean, that was just the cover was very moving. I mean, just listening to it, it just took me to another place, and it was a wonderful cover. So my hat, if I had a hat, I would tip my hat to you. So that was amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Omar Rios Melendez, love you to bits, brother. That's your second appearance. I only asked you about an hour before the show, and you made me so happy that you managed to make it. Until the next time, brother, hope you can hang around and witness as many of the other tracks as possible. Until the next time, Omar Rios Melendez.
Thank you.
Thank you. So from London, we're flying back over the pond to Chicago. Return to the show for Glenn Hoffbauer. Introduce yourself, dude, and the story behind your song, Good Groove Night. Yeah, Good
Groove Night. So Glenn Hoffbauer lived just outside of Chicago, just recently moved from the Kansas City area, which has some jazz history to it. And that was the inspiration for the song. When we lived there, my wife and I would go down to to listen to Lonnie McFadden, who's a great jazz musician, old school type, Sammy Davis, think of the Rat Pack type of musician. But going down to see his show was the inspiration for this song I wrote, which is Good Groove Night. So I'm the singer, guitar player, and not very good at any one of them, but this was the result.
Dude, you're absolutely fantastic. Don't you dare put yourself down, Glenn. Glenn Hoffbauer, wonderful track, Good Groove Night. Absolutely brilliant. What a great video as well. Back and enjoy it. One love. Glenn Hoffbauer, ladies and gentlemen. There's Vancouver. You've got two Vancouverians in here as well. Just fantastic, Glenn. Honestly, wonderful, man. Wunderbar. I don't want to be sexist, so I'll go gentleman first this time. Rich, then Christine and Pretty, then the Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang are the next up. So Rich, then Christine, then Pretty, then FFJG.
Glenn, was that you on the guitar?
No. I mean, I played the rhythm. A good friend of mine, Carter Green, did the scat. So,
okay, because I'm just between that and Omar, I want to pull up my nylon string guitar and virtuosity comes in many different ways, shapes, and forms. And in my opinion, people get too wrapped up in virtuosity being somebody who can play 1,000 licks on any instrument in one given moment. But virtuosity to me is about flavor. It's about taste. It's about being true to the song and authentic to the song. And that's exactly what you had. You laid out a groove, you laid out a rhythm, you laid out a lyrical content, and you delivered. That's great stuff. That's music, man. Well done. I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well said, man.
For the kind words.
Christine?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved that, it had great energy. It definitely had that feeling, like your video showed, like the feeling a night on the town. And you could see any of these cities, just the hustle and bustle and the feel good, just having a great time. So I definitely got that vibe from it. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed, the push and pull there, a little bit of the holding back and then coming back in with the beat, like that was really fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a great job.
Thank you.
Well said. Pretty, then the Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang.
Well, I agree with both of you, and I really think it has a very nice energy, and I also felt the vibe. It's like I was taking myself on a holiday again, and I can see myself sitting on the beach and listening to your music. So I will probably do that this summer or something. So I really enjoyed it, and I really liked it. I also put a comment on your site, on your YouTube site. But it's well done, great mix also.
Thank you.
Well said, Pretty. FFJG over in Austria.
Hi, really nice tune. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect the groove after the intro, but it was a nice surprise and a really cool catchy guitar line. The nylon sounded great. Also, I really enjoyed the scat solo. So
Yeah.
so the unison guitar vocal, always nice. George Benson. I like it. Yeah.
The groove was always like.
Yeah.
Okay. I say fantastic. Glenn Hofbauer over in Chicago. Our 10th guest has just showed up here, Mr. Clark Ford. That's like Mr. Ford's wife just went to hospital today and he's just made it. So I'm going to need to put him on next if that's okay. For Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang, he doesn't have a long time. So Glenn Hofbauer, until the next time, thank you very much, dude. Welcome to the show. In fact, we will go Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang. I'll put you on after in second place, Clark Ford. So let's introduce yourself. We're moving from Chicago over to Austria. Who are the Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang, and why did you cover Deep Purple's song "Smoke on the Water"?
Yeah. Hi, we are half of the Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang. Normally we are joined with my two brothers on bass and drums. I'm the guitar player.
I'm the singer.
Oh yeah, and we're a funk band from Austria, and yeah, this time we have a new thing. We have just released this morning a new song. It's a cover song from Deep Purple, "Smoke on the Water," as Sparky already said, and we just figured, yeah, let's do some well-known songs and put a twist, a Freaky Friday,
A funk
version twist on it, and see what people say. Yeah. So I hope
every time I hear you guys, I just know that yous are guaranteed to be a worldwide success. People just need to hear you. Just sit back and enjoy these guys, I swear. Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang with "Smoke on the Water," which is a Deep Purple cover. Sit back and enjoy. One love.
Leave sports with a mobile. We didn't have much time. Friends separate the mothers. We're at the best place around. But some stupid with the flare gun burned the place to the ground. Smoke on the water, the fire in the sky. Smoke on the water. They burned down the gambling house. It died with an awful sound. Funky club was running in and out, pulling kids out on the ground. When it was all over, we had to find another place. But Swiss Town was running out. It seems that we would lose a race. Smoke on the water, a fire in the sky. Smoke on the water. We ended up at the Grand Hotel. It was empty, cold, and spare. But with the rolling trucks, those pictures outside, making our music there. With a few lights and a few old beds, we made a place to sweat. No matter what we get out of this, I know we never forget. Smoke on the water, a fire in the sky. Smoke on the water, fire on the bayou. Sing it, fire on the bayou. Smoke on the water, a fire in the sky. Smoke on the
Just wowzer, you know. All I can say is
Yeah.
go and check out their album, Rise of the Animal Kingdom. It'll blow you away, honestly. Just well done, guys. You're just fantastic. Rich, Christine, Pretty, they're our next guest, Clark Ford. And Clark, I hope your wife's okay, brother. So Rich, Christine, Pretty, then Clark. What was your thoughts there on that one?
I got so many things to say. Firstly, I love the little nod to Andy Summers and the Police at the end, the little Roxanne thrown at the end. Love it. And I every time I watch one of you guys' videos, I smile, I laugh. You guys, your interpretations of your original covers are beautiful. Musicianship is stellar. As every guitarist knows, hey, Smoke on the Water, it's a rite of passage. Smoke on the Water and Stairway to Heaven. All rock guitar players have to do it. You guys twisted it and screwed it around and had so much fun with it. That guitar solo was brilliant. Not only was the guitar playing great, but you danced in and out of that rock chord structure. You said, screw the rock chord structure. We're going to throw some diminished chords and a few augmented chords in here. Beautiful, without losing the tonal center. I mean, that to me is brilliant funk jazz playing. And I got a shirt like those. I want to jam with you guys. I got the shirts to go with you. So I love what you guys do. Great musicianship all the way. Every one of you. Keep it going.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well said, Rich. Christine?
Oh my gosh, yeah, so much fun, so funky. I loved it. I love the name of your band too. It totally fits. Yeah, just so groovy. I loved it. Just wanted to dance to it. I would say, like Rich said, fantastic guitar playing. Love your vocals. I love your voice. It's just perfect. It just goes perfectly with the song. And then like, I just have to say, like at the end, when you pulled back just a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, I just would have loved a little bit more of that. Like that was so cool. But it was a tease at the same time. It was like, ooh, but then like, I liked where you took it too. So yeah, bravo. Awesome job. Loved it.
Thank you.
That's it. Pretty. And then Clark.
You have
Oh,
such
hey.
an incredible
sorry.
voice, and it's so energetic. Well done, very nice. And I think you guys have so much fun all together, and you can always tell in your videos everything I've seen from you guys is so nice and so pleasant to look at. I think that's how do you say it? Sometimes I can't find the words in English, but anyway, I really, it's so lovely to see. You really are not just playing music, you are just playing with everything in the context with each other, which is so nice.
Thank you.
Well, just my favourite band in the whole world, I'm going to tell you. So sorry to any other bands, but you are, honestly, and I know you are going to make it. If you don't split up, you are going to make it. Mr. Ford over in Iowa, what was your thoughts here, brother, before we get to your section?
Oh yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed that. And you enjoyed it, you know. And it was like a different song. You made it into your own. I love the funk. I love the guitar solo. I love the vocals. I love the just the energy of the song. So thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks.
Well said, everyone. Freaky Friday Jailhouse Gang, everyone, check them out. Till the next time, one love. So, from Austria, we're flying back over to America. This time we're heading to Iowa. Clark Ford, another world-class artist. Wait to hear this track. Introduce yourself, Clark, and what's the story behind your song, Written in the Stars?
Are you waiting for me to talk? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not accustomed to my Scottish 100 miles an hour talk yet, are you? Introduce yourself, Clark, and what's the story behind the song? Written in the Stars.
Sure. Well,
Well
I'm just a songwriter, you know, and that's because I love music. So I don't really consider myself a musician, but I've written a number of songs, and I send them to a studio actually for recording. So just so that you know, you're not thinking that that I recorded any of these songs, but I did write them. This particular song was written about a friend's experience, and this friend is, you know, psychic, or at least they consider themselves psychic. So then this song is all about kind of knowing stuff that would happen in the future, and it's very cosmic, I guess you could say.
It's absolutely brilliant. What a songwriter you are as well. Clark Ford with Written in the Stars. I'm sorry I made a mistake there. Sit back and enjoy. I'm love, ladies and gentlemen.
I knew I'd meet you long before I met you. I waited patiently for you, and I knew I'd love you long before I loved you. Don't ask me how I knew. I knew we'd be together. It was written in the stars, and I knew we would find each other. You have always been in my heart. I knew you'd love me long before you met me. I knew I'd be good for you, and I knew where we mean. Long before we went there, I knew that we'd say I do. I knew we'd be together. It was written in the stars, and I knew we would find each other. You have always been in my heart. I knew I'd lose you long before you did, and I know I'll find you again. Our destiny's not through. I know we'll be together again. It is written in the stars, and I know we will find each other. You have always been, you will always be in my heart.
Just another wow factor, man. Clap for just beautiful song, man. Fantastic, honestly. So Pretty Boniki's the next guest. So Glenn McLeod, could you say something this time? Rich, Glenn, Christine, and then Pretty, who is the next guest. What was your thoughts here? Rich, then Glenn.
Clark, first off, I gotta commend you. I mean, as a songwriter, the courage to put yourself out there. I mean, us as songwriters know how hard it is to write so deeply personal, and that 3 minutes told me that was very authentic. That came from your heart, and that's sometimes very, very tough to do. So I hugely commend you, and the authenticity, I absolutely loved it. I mean, that to me is what music is all about. Good on you. Well done.
No, thank you.
Well said. Glenn McLeod, Crash World. What was your thoughts here, brother?
My first words of the day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yep, yep.
Yeah, I just added the. I'll just tell you what I wrote on your on the song on YouTube. I said, another romantic gem. Your writing is so beautiful, Clark. Well done once again. You really, you're writing many of your songs, or you sort of inhabit this romantic place that is certainly, it lends itself to a positivity that often romantic songs. It's very easy to go into a sad direction, and you kind of steer away from that. And I think I really, as Rich said, I tip my hat to you. And the place that you write from is unique and not easy, but you make it seem very easy. So yeah, amazing stuff. Love it.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well said. Now, Christine, and then Pretty.
So yeah, it was a beautiful song. I'm definitely always a sucker for a good love song. And I loved how classic it was. It really had that old classic style, but it also had a bit of that crooner, like the guy who was singing definitely sounded a little bit like that crooner type of style, which I love. So yeah, it was beautiful. And I wasn't expecting the little twist you had there where I knew I'd lose you, and I was like, oh no. But then there's the hope comes back around, like I know I knew I'd find you, I knew I'd lose you, but I know I'm gonna find you again. So it's it has that twist of fate thing going on, which I love. So great job. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Well said, well said. Pretty Boniki?
I think it's a beautiful song, and indeed it's very romantic. I really love the saxophone in it, and the piano, very subtle. I also like the addition in the chords, but they were also very subtle. So it's also a bit classical, but it has so much in it in this song. And what I like most is your confidence in your writing. Like, it will be all right. And I think that really, with your title, it really works. I think you're an amazing writer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well
Welcome.
said, well said. And Mr. Ford, I hope you can hang around as long as you can. I know that your wife went into hospital today. Thanks for making it here. Until the next time, brother, Clark Ford, and best wishes to your other half, man. Enough. So, from Iowa, we're flying over to the Netherlands. I return to the show again for one of my favourite people in the world, Pretty Binnicky. Introduce yourself and the story behind your song Eclipse.
Well, my name is Priti Benica. I'm a Dutch composer and pianist, and I actually started writing myself just a few years ago, inspired by different composers and pianists, and I thought I'd give it a go. And Eclipse is I guess my fourth or fifth song I've written. And it's been written for a friend of mine. She's also my photographer, and her husband got into a serious car accident. And at that time, we just had a phone call with each other, and she just told me how bad it was. And I was just writing this song. I just started, and actually not with the idea of writing it for her. But after this call, I couldn't play this song and not thinking about her and her situation. There was actually no other way than to write it for her, and that's how I completed the song. And in the end, in the video clip, I asked them whether they would play in the video. So it's actually them playing in my video, telling their own story, which for me is it makes it so personal, and I'm very proud of them doing that, having that done.
It's perfection, this track as well. Pretty Binnica with Eclipse. Sit back and enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. One love. Just absolutely gorgeous. Sorry if I stopped a second too quick there. Even beautiful, honestly. So again, Glenn, you're going to just cover Pretty's co-host role this time. So Rich, Glenn, then Christine, and our next guest, who is Robert Castelli. So Rich, then Glenn, and Glenn, send us a song in the chat, because I'm going to feature a song from yourself as well. You can't sit through the full show and not be included. Glenn MacLeod, Rich Chambers, Glenn MacLeod, then Christine. What was your thoughts?
Pretty. We've got to know each other a little bit over the last year or so, and one of the things that I will say about you is you are a kind, compassionate, and big-hearted person, and it's a testament to you. And they often say that music is sort of the windows into our soul, and you did 4 minutes of kindness, compassion, and empathy. Like, that was amazing. Like, you encapsulated those emotions in your piano playing, your composition. That's not easy to do, but that comes from the authenticity of who you are. So I commend you, my friend. It was well done. I loved it.
That's too much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So true. Glenn, Christine, then Robert, our next guest. So Glenn, Cloud, there's two Glens.
Yeah. Thanks. I couldn't agree more with what Rich said. I find your music is so heartfelt, and this is one of my favorites. I remember the first time I watched the video. I was kind of, well, first of all, the setting of the video, the way it's shot is beautiful. You know, you wearing red, the white piano, the beautiful day, the grass. And I remember as I watched it, I was kind of on the edge of my seat. I was really hoping this was going to have a happy ending, because the emotions are so heightened with your playing and the piece of music that you're playing. And yeah, it's just I find the same thing that Rich says. If the music is the window to our soul, in this case, your windows are wide open, because the emotional side of what you do just pours out, and it just hits the bullseye every time. I love what you do.
That's a huge compliment. Thank you so much. Means
You're
a lot
welcome.
to me.
Well deserved.
Christine, and then Robert.
Yeah, I mean, it's super touching, really beautiful. I just want to say I'm really glad you decided to start writing, because clearly this is a very wonderful gift you have. And yeah, it was, this is life, right? Like, I thought about it, and this was their particular experience, but that's life. There's ups and downs, right? And before you know it, there can just be a day that changes everything. And your music took us there, when she's turning the page and there's the accident, and I really felt the build up to that. And there's, it starts with the sweetness, and so you took us for that ride, that emotional ride. And I thought it was so beautiful that you took this from like a real experience, and I'm really happy there was a good ending there. Yeah, it was gorgeous. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think you're right that I have to give the credits for the edit to my editor, of course, because he's the one who made it the way it is right now, and puts the photos and the video on the right place, So we didn't want it to become that heavy. And I'm actually very glad to hear from all of you that you managed to do that.
Definitely.
It's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Mr. Castelli, what was your thoughts, Mr. Castelli? A New Yorkian over in Barcelona. What was your thoughts?
Well, I love when people go out on the limb and do their own thing, do something original. So there's a beautiful melody that she sings and plays on the piano, and that's I don't know, this that kind of truth just kind of resonates, and then it just goes from there. I'm not discounting any of the other things that were based on covers. And by the way, because she ended in Lovers, because we ended in Lovers is a cover of a Stevie Wonder tune that Jeff Beck covered, but that version was incredible. But what Priti did, sorry for not pronouncing your name, the fact that it was original, and that melody in the voice and the piano and everything just carried the whole thing. the fact that that was original, bravo, 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 bravo. That resonates, bravo. That's
Thank
all
you
I
so,
can say.
so much.
That's all I can
Well,
say.
well said, everyone. Pretty Beniki, you know how much I love you. You're a dart. I'll see you until the next time. One love. So, from the Netherlands, we fly over to Barcelona. The man's from New York, but he lives in Spain. Introduce yourself, Robert. Who's Robert Castelli? And what's the story behind your song, Samba, Wamba, Bamba?
Okay, well, I've been on, Sparky's had me on a couple of times. I'm an Italian American from New York, from Ossining, New York. I lived in Vienna for 13 years before living here in Barcelona for the last 7. So I haven't lived in the States in like 20 years. But I am going to go back to New York and do some gigs in June, as far as I found out. But anyway, I am a band leader. I'm a drummer who's a band leader. That's kind of a minority right there. And I write like 90% of the music for the band. So that makes me like, I don't know. I'm a minority, and I just hope that you will listen to this music and then think that the drummer wrote it, and then make your comments after that. There's nothing else to say about that. That's all I can say.
Without further ado, you're fantastic, Robert. What a character you are as well. Robert Castelli with Samba, Wamba, Bamba. Robert Castelli and the Boom is the band, actually. Forgot to mention that. Get back and enjoy. One love. Robert Castelli, and boom, just wunderbar. Honestly, brilliant dude, fantastic. Let's go Christine, Pretty, Rich. Then our next guest, Andrew E. We've got Andrew A and Andrew E. So Christine, Pretty, Rich, and then Andrew E. Please.
Yeah, awesome job. I remember hearing you before, Robert, and I was really impressed then. I'm just as impressed now. Fantastic song. It really is interesting that you're a drummer and a writer, and I'd be curious to hear about your writing process. Yeah.
Well,
But
I write the music from the guitar, which sucks for horn players.
Yeah.
okay, I see. Yeah, no, it's just an awesome journey. You take us to so many different places, and I love though like how you had that funky thing going on with, I guess, the organ with a wah 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 wah, you know, like going on. I don't know the technical term, but
that was the wah wah pedal.
the
But
wah
that
wah
was-
pedal. Okay.
That was
Yeah.
actually that keyboard player's idea, and he made it retro, you know, because I'm not
Yeah.
so young, but I'm doing this music like Peter Erskine's. Anyone know the drummer Peter Erskine? But his father was a psychiatrist, and he said that the music that you listen to from 15 to 17 years old stays with you for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
basically, when I'm trying to compose music or write or be a tunesmith, because composing is too much, I think, but that's where it's coming from, that, you know, and
Mhm.
yeah, from that era, from that time, and I think you can relate to that, yeah. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a great title too. I love it. The Samba Wamba Bamba. That's awesome.
well,
So-
just really quickly, I wrote that when I lived in Vienna, and that is three words with five letters. But in the German-speaking world, that's one word with 15 letters. Samba Wamba Bamba.
Oh, yeah.
For,
Yeah,
for the
they do a lot of
For the
that.
Composer Society, the title is one word. And speaking of
cool.
one word, shall we continue?
Yeah, that was
That's
great.
it.
Really enjoyed it. Awesome. Thank you.
Pretty, Rich, then Andrew E.
It was a beautiful song, really nice. I love the dark bass sound, and it was like he was just dancing, playing it. I think I really got that vibe. I really think also it's a very positive vibe and positive tune. And I peeked at the others while listening, and I saw everyone moving a little bit, and I think it says it all. Even you can't sit still on this.
No,
Well
that's
done.
the thing. You touch everybody with rhythm, you know, rhythm and melody, but rhythm. Like there's this old Abbott and Costello film where the Lou Costello is a waiter at like the Copacabana, and he has a thing full of drinks, and the music is like boom, 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 and he says, "Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop." It's like if you can't feel that, you should check your pulse. You may, in fact, be dead. You know,
It's like you put that in the song because there were stops in the song as well, but it immediately does continue. And by the way, did you notice? I noticed that you've got your reaction turned off. Is that
my
do you
what?
do that on purpose? Your reaction on YouTube?
No.
Okay, so people can't comment.
No. The thing is, I just want to say, like, I put out this release 3 years ago, and I wouldn't put it on any of the streaming services because I can actually travel to another country, do live concerts, sell gear, and make 200% more than if I sold shit on. So if you look at my YouTube, the last thing says 53 views. That's because I just put it up in January, you know? So I don't know why. I think that is an automatic, how do you say?
I'll tell you.
Message.
I'll tell you how to fix it, Robert. You have to go into your YouTube studio and change it to not made for kids. If you make it for kids, you can't comment on it.
There you go. That's that too.
I can show you that tomorrow, brother.
I'm old and stupid. I don't know about this shit. What can I say?
I'll sort you with that tomorrow. Well said, Titi. Rich, then Andrew E. What was your thoughts? I'll help you with that tomorrow, Robert. Rich?
Robert, that was a lot of fun. It definitely was a samba with some calypso feeling in there as well, which I quite enjoyed. Your guitar player was brilliant. And I like, as a composer, you did what I think is brilliant with a lot of jazz pieces, is that the drummer becomes almost a melodic instrument. And you sort of infuse that into the song, which I was quite impressed with. And also, and I mean this as a compliment, I mean, there's moments where I thought of Chuck Mangione, Feels So Good, that album. I mean, he got nailed in the 70s. The jazz purists said, this is way too commercial. You're selling out. Bullshit.
No.
Chuck Mangione did great songs. And I think it Hurt So Good. I forget the name of the actual song.
Yes, that's the song. Hurt something like that.
Hurt So Good, yeah. I
Yeah.
heard tendencies of leaning towards that in there, which I
Yeah.
love. I think Mangione is a brilliant horn player, and the band is awesome. So,
Well, this is really wild that you say that, because there's no horns in that.
I know.
But
I
what
know.
you're talking about is a catchy melody. And
Yes.
I think the record producers of the time would get someone who would make a kind of, how should I say, honest melody, and then they would commercialize that.
Yeah.
So you complimented me, insulted me at the same time. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I get exactly where you come from. Exactly. And it's a compliment. And thank you.
It's totally meant to be, Robert,
Yes,
because
and
I'm a
it-
huge
thank-
Mangione fan, and I love what you did. You're not copying him. I'm not saying that you're Mangione. I'm just saying you tapped into that vibe of being able to, hey, we got a great melody going and we can make it accessible for everybody. That I love, and that's what you did.
But what he just said, he talked about the band. I did this melody and gave it to really good musicians, and he complimented on those musicians. Those musicians are incredible. They made that happen. I just made a couple of notes and went bang bang boom.
Don't undersell yourself, Robert. That was good stuff, man. Well done.
Well said, Rich. Well said. Andrew E. Pierce, what was your thoughts before we get to your track? And we've only got three more. We've got Andrew Alston, Rich Chambers, and then we've got Glenn MacLeod as well after this. So, Andrew E. Pierce, what was your thoughts?
I love that. As you probably could see, I was bopping away to that here, nodding the head and going for it. Very technical. Loved it. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. I'll have to check out your YouTube site. Is it on any social media, any other social media sites, your music?
I got my own social media, but just Google my name and you'll see the Bandcamp link, and you can go from there. Yeah.
Okay, Bandcamp.
Everyone always say it's add my Facebook page, but nobody checks their messages on Facebook pages. Add each other as friends on Facebook. That's what I strongly recommend. That's what you should all do when you see each other's names here. Add each other as friends. I'm friends with you all. It's just a matter of time before you all become buddies. So, Robert Castelli, until the next time. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
No, our pleasure. So from Barcelona, we're flying back over to the UK. Return to the show for Andrew E. Pierce. Introduce yourself, dude, and the story behind your song, My King.
Hi, thanks for having me again, Sparky, and hi to everybody. A little bit about me. I'm just a small town boy from a small town area in England. Always loved singing. Vocals is my thing. I'm also a singer, songwriter. About 10, 15 years ago, or more than that now, I was signed to Universal, released an album with them, had the opportunity to travel all over the world. Loved it, great opportunity. But I wanted to come back home. And what I mean by that is I wanted to do what I had in my heart, which was the root gospel. That's where I'm coming from. And as you know, there's so many influences with jazz and soul and R&B, everything else like that. So the track I'd like to listen to is one of my first tracks that I wrote, I think about 2 years ago. And I had a go at production, so bear with me, be gracious as you listen to the song. And it's called My King. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, God bless you, man. Honestly, I'm a man of Jesus as well. Andrew E. Pierce with My King. Sit back and enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, one love.
Creator, my miracle, there's nothing comparable. Mountains have to move, love for me approved. Sustainer, unstoppable. In you, all things are possible. Surrender all of you. All in all of you. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard the treasures you've prepared for me. You're my king, redeemer, provider, the source that makes life brighter. Mountains have to move. Mountains have to move. You are always true. Yeah. Magnificent, benevolent, immutable, omnipotent. Surrender all you. All wait on you. All I have is you. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard the treasures you've prepared for me. Rejoice and sing. You're my king. You've opened floodgates of prosperity and outbursts of love unseen favorably. I will rejoice and sing. You're my king. You've opened floodgates of prosperity and outbursts of love unseen favorably. I will rejoice and sing. You're my king. No eyes have seen. No eyes seen. No ears have heard the treasures you've prepared for me. I will rejoice and sing. You're my king. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard the treasures you've prepared for me. I will rejoice and joy you bring. You're my king. Creator, my miracle.
Yes, what a beautiful, beautiful track, honestly. Andrew E. Pierce, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ladies first here. Pretty, Christine, Rich, then our next guest, and Andy Olsen. So Pretty, then Christine. What's your thoughts here, firstly?
Oh, Andrew, that was a beautiful song, really is, and I love the vibe and the your voice is so strong and so powerful. It really matches, I think, the gospel and to spread the word. I also love the backing vocals, and what I think gospel does for me is all these voices coming together. It's making it so strong. I really, really love that. So. Thank you for making this.
Well said, Pretty. Christine, then Rich.
Yeah, fantastic song. Beautiful, beautiful voice. And I loved all the background singers just complimenting your voice and just the whole feel of the song. Beautiful, positive energy and vibe. I just felt like I could see this whole stage full of people and instruments, and just I felt like just the energy of that, like even though nobody's around me, I feel like I'm just surrounded by all these people in a good mood and just celebrating. So that's what I got from it. And yeah, no surprise at all that you've been signed and you're just fantastic. So good job.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well said, ladies. Now, Rich, then Mr. Alston.
Andrew, I have to third, not second, first, second, third, what Pretty and Christine said in your voice. Your voice is absolutely amazing. And you said that was one of your first ever productions you've done on your own? Like,
yes, just after lockdown, I was nervous, but I thought I had to do something. Yeah.
Andrew, that was damn fine producing, man. You don't be so hard on yourself. That was well produced. and the songwriting itself, you can tell it comes from a place of love, man. That's authentic songwriting. I mean, I commend you. That to me is what it's all about. Well done. Good job.
Cheers.
Well said. Andy Alston, what's your thoughts
Yeah.
here, dude?
Oh, it's just the voice that gets me. I think I saw Andrew in this group or something, and I went, "You've got a voice." Not everybody's got a voice. I hear some voice I just don't get. And like, yeah, and I like that skippy drum beat. Yeah, that was just so cool. And just the voice just goes right through into your soul. Yeah, it does work. Yeah.
Well said, dude.
Amen. Thank you.
Hey, from one Andrew to another, Andrew E. Pierce, till the next time. One love, brother. God bless you, man. So from England, we're going up north of the border to Scotland. The guy is from the same country as me. Andy Alston, this guy's a legend. He works with people. He's worked with people like Simple Minds and all sorts of other things. I'm not going to be the person that tells you how connected he is, but he's mega connected, dude. Andy Alston, introduce yourself and the story behind your song "Just in Time."
Right. This song, yeah, well, I kind of wrote it a couple of years ago, and there was a doctor from France staying with me in my house called Barbara. I asked her, "Can you sing?" Because it was, what was it called? It was COP26 conference, and she was over here with Médecins Sans Frontières, and I wrote this thing for her, and I played everything on the thing, and then it took about 2 hours to record it. Yeah. Yeah, when she was here. Yeah, she didn't have any more time. Yeah, that's the idea. And it's a kind of comedy song. Yeah, idea. Yeah. And it's been played a lot on French radio. Yeah, this song. She's from France, but I don't think she's ever heard it. Yeah. And that's cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
without further ado, Andy Alston, Just in Time. The guy's amazing. If he reaches out to you to do some work with you, accept him because he's got so much going on. Just in Time by Andy Alston. Sit back and enjoy. One love.
Just in time, you'll be mine.
Andy Alston, love you to bit, brother. Fantastic stuff, dude. And yeah, Barbara's awesome as well. Shame you couldn't bring her on the show with you. Feel free to bring, you know,
No, I
your
don't. I
singers
don't
on.
know her at all. That I named it. She worked for Medicine Sans Frontier, and for French radio, I called her Barbara Sans Frontier.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So, Christine, pretty. Glenn, can you say something? Because Rich is the next guest here, or we only get 3 reviews. So, Christine, pretty. Glenn McLeod, then Rich. Christine, then pretty.
Yeah, super groovy song also. I loved it. It's all about the bass line for me in this one.
Yeah, the bass
Just-
line's the thing. It's comedy, it's throwaway, it's nonsense.
Oh, well, yeah, that's just, I just love that. And I love that you carried that all the way through. And then with the distortion on the guitar that comes in a little later was a nice
I
addition.
play the guitar, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and it kind of has like, you know, in my head, I'm like, oh, like kind of like a little 70s vibe, but then you said it's on the French radio. So I'm like, oh yeah, I could see a little French influence there too. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really neat. It was really a little different, you know, than what I usually hear. So I like that. I like that it was something exciting and different. So great job. Yeah.
Well said, Christine. Can I just jump in quickly? See, in there you saw a factory called the Turnux Factory. They make the tea cakes, which is one of the most commonly like tea biscuits over here. I used to test the fire alarms in there when I was a youngster. I used to work as a fire alarm engineer, and I've been in and out that front doors. That made me smile. I'm like, oh, it's a small world, eh?
I just
Pretty,
looked,
then Rick.
I looked in
Huh?
Google Photos to make the video 2 days ago for photos I had
Oh,
of clock,
brilliant.
and that was one of them. The Tonic tea clock, yeah.
So random, I swear, man. Random. Pretty, Glenn, and then Rich. Sorry, Pretty, then Glenn.
I really love the vocals and the piano rhythmics in the background at first. And I really think that the bass line it's like pushing it, you know, and I really got the feeling like I'm being pushed to be just in time. So I think you did that really well.
Yeah, just in time, you'll be mine. That's the idea, yeah. You don't have a choice.
Yeah. But it's so nice because it actually does give it another touch, and I think it really works, and it's very nice, and it's a good fun. I like that too.
Yeah, it's fun. That's the idea. Yeah.
Well said, Pretty. Glenn, Crash World.
Yeah, I loved. I mean, I'm jumping in, piling on here, but the bass line was fantastic. It just drove the whole thing. It was kind of a, I don't know, it reminded me of a sort of a cheeky character in amongst all the arrangement, and it was kind of, you know, saying, hey, you know, you're with me, or I'm leaving you behind. So, and I love the guitar, and I love the vocals, the sort of the female vocals that came in.
Yeah,
have
she's
developed.
I've got no way of getting in touch with her, but who's she? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know her name.
Yeah, the just in time. It reminded me of like the Andrews sisters or something. That kind of spiraled in and did their thing. Yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it.
Wasn't it just Rich Chambers, our next guest? Rich?
Well, we got a theme going here. I mean, 4 for 4 on the bass line. I mean, that bass line kicked the groove off right off the top, and it held it through the whole song, along with the drums. Got to give the drums credit too. They held it together.
The bass line is the start point of it, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, the neat thing about it, Andy, is that it also created a soundscape for you to explore a few. I noticed you had some instrumentation went out into some different angles. At one point, I was even struck by, and I don't know if this is intended or not, but there's something in the middle that struck me as Brian Wilson's Good Vibrations, like the what was it called, electrotheremin or jaw harp or something.
There's an ancient synthesizer there that I sometimes just, that works there. Yeah.
Yes. I totally. I thought of that's great experimentation. Like all of a sudden this instrument comes out of nowhere, like Brian Wilson used to do. That's what came to my mind right away. Comes out of nowhere and it totally fits, and then it goes away. Yeah. And of course, it can do that because you've got this bass and drums creating this massively solid, funky foundation.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Good songwriting, good producing, good arranging.
Well said, everyone. Do you know what? I believe Andy's already got a project with our very own Sabina Chanturia and Tina Libea already. I think, Christine are going to do something. So, Andy Alston, you're going to see a lot more for that guy in these shows. Love you to bits. Andy Alston.
Yeah, Andy.
Right, thank you.
Scottish brother.
Thanks.
So from Scotland, flying over to Vancouver, Rich Chambers, introduce yourself, my brother. And what's the story behind your song? Politics and Family.
Politics and family. Now, Sparky, when Sparky said you want to be in a show, I said, but this is not jazz, Sparky. This is far away from it. I've gone country hillbilly, almost to the mountains of West Virginia, kind of on this one. And this one has origins from my background when I was a kid. Firstly, I can remember my dad and his friends always sitting in the living room. This happened more often than not. They get the acoustic guitars out and they have big jam session in the living room. Beers are flowing and everybody's singing songs, and they're all kind of folky country songs. And I also remember as a kid growing up, we'd have family dinners and the family would come over and they'd start out very polite and very nice. And they start talking politics, whether it be the local election or whatever's going on. And before you know, drumsticks are getting thrown across the table and things. Not that bad, but they'd get heated and they get a little spiral out of control. And so I thought I'm going to have some tongue-in-cheek fun with this. And also I'll interlace the idea that there's politics in every family. The politics of that crazy aunt you got to deal with at the wedding, or the politics of, your sister's always kind of freaking out over something. So politics works on many different levels. Or you can just say, screw it all, I'm going to listen for 3 minutes and have fun. Because that's generally, that I was after fun first, and I'll layer it with all these other things underneath it. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hey, you've not got 113,000 followers on Facebook for nothing, Rich Chambers. You're absolutely world class, man.
Thanks, Sparky.
Politics and family from Rich, Mr. Rock and Roll Reimagined. Chambers. Go back and enjoy. One love.
When I was just a boy, I met a strange man. He kissed me on the cheek. He shook my mom's hand. I asked her all about it. Who was that smiling guy? She said he's just a leech, dressed up in a tie. Now that I have grown up to be a man, I follow all the news, read everything at hand. Getting all my parties straight, there's gonna be a fight. I'm going home to mom's for dinner Sunday night. Sister leaves left, brother falls right. Mama's in the middle, she knows how to fight. Papa's drinking beer, says we're too uptight. Politics and family, we're staying up all night. Single week, it's always the same. We'd get a little crazy, a little bit insane, shouting out our point of views. We never eat dessert, and grandma's baked it special, and she's just a little hurt. Sister leaves left, brother falls right. Mama's in the middle, she knows how to fight. Papa's drinking beer, says we're too uptight. Politics and family, we're staying up all night. Communism, capitalism, socialism, fascism, anarchism, conservatism, separatism, federalism, liberalism, radicalism, cannibalism, Star Trekism. Ah, too many isms. Sister leaves left, brother falls right. Mama's in the middle, she knows how to fight. Papa's drinking beer, says we're too uptight. Politics and family, we're staying up all night. Politics and family. Politics and family. Politics and family. Politics and family, we're going to bed tonight.
Rich Chambers, ladies and gentlemen, just absolutely brilliant. Just Rich, you're in a league of your own, man. You're absolutely flying in this world. Would the Freaky Friday Jailhouse gang like to say something? Because Rich can't do himself here. Would you guys like to say something? And then Pretty and Christine and our final guest of the evening, Glenn Crashwell. So, Freaky Friday Jailhouse gang.
Great song. I always enjoy your songs. It's
thanks, guys.
Yeah, always great songwriting and good topics, and the videos are always funny. I think it's really
Thank
really
you.
good music just to enjoy and yeah, have a good time. Really cool.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That was a fun video to do. And I
Yeah.
call it official selfie video because most of the time I was just holding my iPhone up at myself. So
Yeah, yeah. That's the best way
Hey,
to do videos. Yeah, yeah.
I'm stealing your dance, Rich. You're swinging your legs out to the side. I'm telling you, I'm stealing that next time I'm at the bar. Like,
I got a few weird looks from people walking their dogs as they were going by. But so be it.
Right, man. Pretty, Christine, then Glenn MacLeod.
Chris, you're such an amazing artist and a
Thank you.
musician, and I think I adore your music and what you do and the way you
Thank
do
you,
it.
Pretty.
And it was absolutely brilliant. It's actually true. The lyrics you wrote, do not go there on Christmas on these topics because you will go to bed eventually, but it's going to be a long, long night. So,
Thank you,
and
Pretty.
then the way you express it in the video, I think is brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Thank you.
So fun.
Thank you. You know what's funny,
Honestly,
Pretty, is that I thought this was just exclusive to my family. But as I've put this song out there, everybody's come back saying, "Oh no, Rich, that happened at our dinner table too." It's everybody's got this same story. So it's kind of neat that without meaning to, I've tapped into something that everybody kind of can relate to. So thank
Probably
you.
because I noticed how many people have watched this.
Yeah, honestly,
Amazing.
he's a very humble guy. It's an honor every time you come on a show, Rich. You don't need any help, but you always come, and it's an honor for anybody to meet you.
Thank
I
you,
can
Sparky.
see everybody's happy to meet you every time you come on a show. Thanks again, Christine. Then
Thank you.
Glenn. What was your thought?
Yeah, so I've had the pleasure of hearing this song a number of times. I love it every time, probably
you.
even more every time. It's so much fun, and yeah, I had said to you, Rich, that it's so relatable, and I love that too, that it puts the spin of just this funness about it instead of like so serious. Like right now, I feel like so many people are so serious when they're talking
Yeah.
about politics, and it's like it's so polarizing and isolating, and it's good to be able just to laugh about it. We're all different, and it's just, it can be a big chaotic situation, but we can all still get along at the end. Yeah, there's so much to say about it, but I think that the chorus is so catchy. I mean, the whole thing's catchy. And then you put that whole thing at the end with all the different isms, and cracks me up every time. So I just
Thank
love
you.
the goofiness, the authenticity, and just the upbeat positivity about it. So
Thanks,
super
Christine.
bravo. I love it. Good
Thank you.
job.
Well,
Once again.
Glenn MacLeod, a fellow Vancouverian. That's what I'm calling
Yes.
these anyway. I don't know.
Vancouverites, I think we are. Hello, my Vancouver brother. Fantastic song again. And
Thank you.
yeah, you're giving Russ Stallings a run for his money with your picking there. Some fine guitar playing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and super fun, super relatable. One of those, underlying kind of things that you've tapped into. Like you said, you weren't maybe thinking that every dinner table across every land is probably dealing with this on every holiday, and certainly, yeah, fantastic when you can tap into something like that. It's relatability is a huge factor, and yeah, your music is always that way, and you're also sort of leaning back to your I'm a nice guy but vibe with the sort of the lighthearted, there's a wink in some of your writing
Yeah.
that is
Thank
that
you,
is
Glenn.
so
Yes.
appreciative.
Yes.
It's so appreciative, and yeah, and you're fantastic on camera.
Thank you.
Yeah, love
Thank
it.
you.
You bring there's a lot of your the shorts, the little covers that you have been doing for ages. The energy you bring to those, that you tapped into that energy a lot on this, and it's really, yeah, that's one of your
Thanks, Glenn.
greatest
Thank you.
commodities. I think that's a big reason why people love you so much.
You
Yeah.
humble me, my
So-
friend. Thank you. Thank you.
So if one of the candidates or one of the parties in the U.S. could adopt this as their theme song, I think all the people in the U.S. would lighten up a little bit, as Christine alluded to, and it's a perfect year for it. So
Oh,
if you're
it's a-
listening out there, either party,
It's a
Take this
crazy
to
year
heart.
in US politics right now. Crazy year. Wow.
Yeah.
There's definitely too many isms in it. We're all one. It's, you know, there's divide and conquer nonsense. Everybody's the same, aren't they? You know, and it's the mainstream television that makes people. Depends what channel you watch. If you watch Fox, you'll believe something. If you watch CNN, you'll believe something
Yeah.
else. It's like I don't watch any of them. You know what I mean?
Star
Rich
Trekism
Chambers, you
was
know.
my last one I threw in there. When I threw in Star Trekism as an afterthought, and I thought when I went there, I thought, okay, this whole song has to go there. So I kind of adjusted it to fit the tongue in cheek of Star Trekism. So
you're
That was the last
fantastic,
thing I
Rich
wanted.
Chambers.
That was the thing I wanted to mention. That was my final thing was Star Trekism. Nice touch. That was well
and it was an
placed.
afterthought, and it suddenly encapsulated the whole song. So
I can see it being added to next year's Oxford Dictionary. A word you've made up, Star Trekism. Rich Chambers, we can't say enough about you, man. You're just incredible.
thanks,
One
everybody. I
love for the next
appreciate
time.
all the kind words. Thank you.
So from one Vancouverite to another Vancouverite, Glenn McLeod, aka Crash World, one half of Crash World. Introduce yourself and the story behind your song before and after.
Thanks. First of all, thanks for having me on. I really just came to enjoy the many great artists that you always have on the show, Sparky, and the family is growing so exponentially. It's kind of an honor. I mean, it is an honor, true honor to be a part of this. You get to meet and hear such great music and artists from around the world. So, yeah, and I just dropped in, but thank you for including me. So Crash World, this is a song we wrote because we're an acoustic duo. We are able to cover a lot of stylistic ground without alienating an audience because it's presented acoustically. So this is one of the jazzier songs that we wrote. And in this instance, we decided to include it on the album. In the album, we went all in with arrangements and and developed the songs completely. And I think it was Robert who mentioned, you write the song, bring in great players, and if you trust in the song, they'll add their touch. There's no need to micromanage anybody, and I certainly didn't do that. So this was done in a big studio with a horn section and a beautiful arrangement from the fellow that did the horn arrangements. And yeah, it was honestly one of the most just amazing experiences of my musical life, to sit and watch this tiny piece of music that I wrote on acoustic guitar develop into this sort of grand jazz leaning vision. So yeah, it's called Before and After. Okay. And the last thing I'll say about it is before, the idea, it's about love and how, there's many before and afters in life. And in this case that we're talking about love. So there is the before when you're probably feeling lonely and alone or searching for that someone. And then there's the after. Life is kind of full of before and afters. That's sort of the gist of that.
Glenn, everything Crash World does is world class. I love you to bits, man. Crash World with before and after. Final song of the evening. Sit back and enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. One love.
Is it all wrapped up in desire? Is this the place we go to light the fire? Someone like you should never be given the keys, so just sit back, leave the driving to me. You can spend your life looking for that special someone, someone to share, someone to fly, someone to swoon. But when you least expect it and when your guard is down, they simply walk into the room. And it's the say about the heart it skips a beat and gives you a start. People like us should never be alone, so stay with me now. Keep talking on the phone. Imagine the qualities that you dreamed of will have. Trying to fit it all into the frame. Then all at once you came along and it all burst into flames. I threw away the rulebook, 'cause love is no game, and it's a sudden realization. The train has left the station. I'm gonna go, my friend. My single life is at an end. Oh, a heady situation, but a subtle kind of persuasion, and nothing can prevent love getting through. Before it's over now, and the after is with you. Goodbye to my old ways. Goodbye to the good old days. I left a note for my old self, and I quote, leaving all behind. And it's a sudden realization. The train has left the station. I'm done and gone, my friend. My single life is at an end. Oh, it's a heady situation, but a subtle kind of persuasion, and nothing can prevent love getting through. Before it's over now, and the after is with you. Before it's over now, and the after is with you. Before it's over now, and the after is with you.
Well, just absolutely, just honestly, man, wonderful. Love it. So,
Thank you.
Christine, Pretty, Rich, and then Glenn Hoffbauer, would you like to be the fourth reviewer this time? So, Christine, Pretty, Rich, and then Glenn H. Christine?
Yeah, fantastic. I love how powerful you come in on this song, and that the whole song is just really powerful. Like I write a lot of songs, I start real soft and subtle and then they get big, but like I don't do enough of that where it just comes right in and here it is, and I love that about this. And I really love a lot of your lyrics were really great. I love the concept of the before and after, and I wrote down that the before is over now and the after is with you. I thought that was so cool. So really great job on those lyrics.
Thank you.
Yeah, and all the horns were fantastic, and yeah, it was great. Great job.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you saying that about the lyrics. I work really, really hard on lyrics, and it's when
I
I
like
go ahead.
I like that it feels so natural. They don't sound like they were, overly thought. Maybe you put a lot of thought into it, but it feels like really natural things people would say, but not the usual things people would say in songs, so I like that.
Right. Thank you. I love that you wrote down that line. I love that line too. It was kind of the linchpin. It held it all together. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well said, Christine. Pretty, then Rich.
I wrote down the same line because I really want to celebrate. It sounds a bit weird maybe saying it, but it is so strong. I think that is your strength when I listen to your music and what you have been writing. You are not only a storyteller, but you're also giving me some awareness, because that line really made me aware of how things are. And I think that's one of your strengths, that if you can express and tell people things they already know, but they somehow they don't. And listening to your words, then somehow you think, oh yeah, it's exactly like that. I think
Thank
it's
you.
so powerful.
Yeah, I think part of what I try to do lyrically is exactly what you're saying, is sort of provide perspective on things that may not be, apparent all the time as we go through our busy lives. So, and that line of, it's what it's like as a songwriter is when you land on that sweet line. I mean, it's all you need is one, and then if it's a chorus line, then you grow forwards and backwards. If it's the first line of the song, then you grow forward. But wherever it is, when you know that line, and then you can grow the whole song around it. And that's a line that I would say would definitely allow for that. Did allow for that.
Yeah, great job on the musicians as well, because I can imagine it must have been an amazing production, and all these people working on it.
Yeah,
it's
great
so
experience. Yeah, monster players too. So it was just, I mean, I was a kid in a candy store, I'll tell you. I was really having, actually, the one quick story I like, but this was one of those funny things. When we were doing the rhythm section, these two heavy hitting jazz guys came in to do it. And for that song, you can hear when he pulled out the double bass and he said, yeah, this is my dream bass. I had my eye on this for years, and finally I was able to afford it. It was actually from the late 1800s. It was a very, very old instrument, and he got it. And I mean, this thing was it was like being in the presence of something, a higher power. This instrument was unbelievable. There's this little thing he does in the bridge. It's just a gliss, but it says it all about that instrument. It's in this track. But the engineer, they were setting up and getting levels, and the engineer turned to me and he goes, this guy, Miles Fox, he goes, didn't he play with Van Morrison? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. And he goes, hang on a second. I'm going to look it up. So he quickly looks, and then he's like, yeah, look, he played with him for like 10 years. And I was like, I laughed and I said, wow. And then I said, I'm kind of glad I didn't know that when I first started talking to him, because it would have humbled me even more. I'm like, wow, do I even dare get this guy in the studio? But yeah, what a monster. And the drummer, they'd played together before. So they locked in. And I think that take is the second take. Basically the first take was levels. They'd never played the song before. They just heard it. They were like, okay, let's do this. They had a few conversations, and that's what we got.
Wow.
And I say she was so proud of that one, eh? But
Yeah.
well said, Pretty. Rich, and then Glenn Hofbauer, if you can unmute yourself. Rich, and then Glenn Hofbauer.
Okay, that explains why after I heard the song, I'm humming Brown Eyed Girl. Jeez. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But Glenn, it must have been, I hear what you're saying, my friend. It must have been so cool to see something where you're just sitting there with your pen and paper and acoustic guitar, and all of a sudden you have all these monster players just exploding it into the stratosphere. I mean, that's an amazing, as a musician, that's an amazing feeling. And have an interpretation of your song go through the roof like that. I can only imagine how great you felt with that. That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably been 2 years or a little more since we did it, but even just talking about it with you all is bringing it all back. I'm getting that same kind of nervous little kid in the sandbox feeling again.
Well, I love Graham's lazy vocal delivery. The Dean Martin kind of swagger on you, let your words roll a little bit longer, and that was very cool stuff. And
yeah, I know he's very proud of that vocal.
It's a great vocal.
Yeah. Because I mean,
a little different from what else he's done, but
where we came from, that was not really something that we had sort of honed in our repertoire. So it was a big mountain to climb. And you're right. I appreciate you saying that. I'll pass that along.
Please pass that along to him
to reach that sort of that laissez-faire that he
Yes.
has in the delivery it's really sweet. Yeah.
Without losing your audience, because that's not
Yeah.
easy to do, to get that lazy sound without somebody going, it sounds like crap. To be lazy and say that sounds good. That's really hard to do, actually.
Yeah.
But I also want to say a testament to you, as always, Glenn, and I love this about you. And it's, in my opinion, your biggest strength is that you are such a cerebral songwriter. I mean, somebody dives into your songs, they got to be ready to dive in. I mean, they can take it on surface, like any music. Your music sounds great. It's great. But if they dive in, they're going to find more there every single time. And I love that about what you do, because I know you put a ton of work into your lyrics. It shows. They come out intelligent. They come out super complimentary to the song. The themes are there. And I love that about whenever I listen to Clash World song, I know there's something there to dive into every single time. And that's a huge testament to you as a songwriter. Well done, my friend.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that more than you know. And it's true. I always try to, I mean, Crash World is essentially it's my way of giving back to the world, not the music that I lived my adult life listening to, but the music I listened to when I was a kid, the music that influenced me when I was young. And those were the kind of songs and writers that I gravitated to. So when I came back to it and decided to, put aside the eternal search for virtuosity and the perfect performance on the guitar, it just became so focused on songwriting that was very apparent. A lot of things about Crash World are very simple to me. Like these things are apparent, and it's not a complicated project, because I've been in projects that were very complicated and convoluted, and in a way you can lose your audience and lose the thread. But I'm happy and humbled to say that Crash World seems to be it hits its mark. The audience gets it, and it's and I'm able to share ideas that did influence me when I was a kid, and that's the greatest gift as a writer for me.
Glenn, you and Graham have good chemistry. Like, well done. You guys do well together.
A dynamic duo, aren't they? Dynamic duo, you think that's a full band. It's usually just the two of them, they're fantastic. Mr. Hofbauer, final compliment of the evening. What would you like to say, Glenn to Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn, fantastic. There's nothing more than I can say that hasn't already been said. I mean, a masterful composition. I loved it from start to finish, and it just had to be a real buzz to sit in the room and hear your song come to life. I've only sat in with single musicians that have a lot more talent than I, and I get high just listening to them add, their taste to a track, and masterful track. I love listening to it. I want to hear more of your stuff too. So I'll just say very well done. Very well done.
Much appreciated. From one Glenn to another. I think, Sparky, you're getting a symmetry here. You've got the Vancouver thing and the double Glenn attack at the end here. I'm going to just do one last thing, as they say on talk shows, a gratuitous plug. But so this song was done in a session with another song called Third Time's the Charm. And through Sparky's family, I've always had it in my mind to perhaps do a remix with some hip hop artists. So we've done, the first one came out on Friday, and the second one features one of those family members, Trav DePoet, on a hip hop on a version of this song that is quite unique and quite different. And it's been a really amazing little sort of I don't know if you call it a side project, but sort of a project within the project. So that's that song. The version of this song we just heard before and after will come out on March 1st. And I couldn't be more excited. I mean, it was just so cool to hook up with somebody through the family, as many of the family members are doing. And it's just a testament to how great the thing that you're building, Sparky, is. And you've been saying how great it's going to grow every year, and I'm here to say it is, and you're absolutely on point. And we know how hard you work, and it's so appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sparky.
you, man, for that. You bring tear to
For
my
everything
eye.
you
I
do,
don't like
thank
crying
you.
on screen, but do you know something? See, being real and honest, and you know, most of the music companies out there, they're in things for the wrong reason, to use artists and stuff. And I've had such a tough 10, 12 years that I just love helping people. It keeps the pain that I've got in me. There's some bad things have happened to me in my life, you know, and this is an honour to be part of this. But I've only got two hands, and I'm trying to do about 20 people's jobs. See, when I'm allowed to just focus on shows, I'll be doing them probably 10 hours a day, and I'm not kidding. So you're not even seeing 5% yet. But thanks, Glenn. Thanks, everybody, for being wonderful guests. I'm just going to stop the Facebook Live. So goodbye, Facebook. We don't really... Bye. I like to stop the main recording, no, with the world peace sign. We all want world peace. So I'm not hanging up. Yes, 1, 2, 3, let's go.